Frozen 2 is finally here, and so since we're all about the Frozen, all about the Disney, of course, we have to discuss it now. There's gonna be a lot of discussing happening here between us and here between us in the comments. So let's get started with the Frozen 2 review. Hello and welcome to the Queendom. I'm Sarah Engel, and today we're doing the Frozen 2 review. I'm gonna do this non-spoiler edition for the beginning, and then when we get to the part where we're gonna discuss specific things in the movie, I'll give you a big like, warning, warning. If you haven't seen it yet and don't want the spoilers, skip to the end and I'll give you like a little timestamp and we can skip to there. So first, in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know about Frozen 2, Frozen 2 is the much anticipated sequel to the mega hit movie Frozen. I was super lucky and got to see the movie early on the world premiere date, which was so cool. Got to see like fancy people like Idina Menzel and Josh Gad at the El Capitan Theater. Was an experience I hope I always remember. We're back at it again with Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Sven, and Kristoff. Did I say any names twice? There's a lot of offs. The movie definitely has a lot more action. It's a lot of great music. The other one was more like, okay, we've got a fairy tale. This one is more like, in some ways, almost like an origin story of a superhero is almost how I think of it. 'Cause like we all knew from the other one, she's not your typical Disney princess. In fact, she's not a Disney princess. She's a Disney queen. Magical ice powers. Like, yeah, Rapunzel had magical hair, and Moana, the ocean could talk to her, but Elsa has straight up magical powers. We get to explore Elsa's powers a lot more in this movie, so it's really focusing on that a lot more than we did in the first one. So in the first one, we saw her make a castle, but we saw her change it from summer to winter, and maybe a little bit of like basic self-defense movements with her powers. But this one we really get to see her using them to do like things that seem to be much more plot driven, trying to get into the ocean and all sorts of stuff. There's some magical like mystical horse ghost things that we'll talk a little bit more about when we get to the spoilery section. And it's not just about Elsa, obviously. We've got the other people, but I think what the interesting thing is, the first movie, Anna was so very much really the main character, but the character everybody gravitated towards, especially little kids, was Elsa. And so this movie actually allows us to explore Elsa more. And I was afraid that it was almost gonna be too much, just Elsa, because they're kind of like trying to balance it maybe, because I saw, first of all, she's like the freaking cash cow of the universe. You put Elsa's face on anything and all of a sudden you sell millions, tens of millions. Anna does not quite have the same effect. But we actually do get character development across all the characters. They all have their part that they play in the movie. And it wasn't so much just like the epic tale of Elsa, the super ice woman. The first one moved pretty quickly. There's never really like a dull moment. They amped it up even a little more. It's the amount of things they managed to make happen is a lot. I want to watch it again. Overall, I loved it. Overall, I liked it better than the first one. This isn't really a spoiler, but like Elsa's outfits, plural, let me say plural. There might be some outfits, and then not on any of the merchandise, is not in any of the books, is not any of the trailers. I haven't seen any. There's another outfit, you guys. I won't describe what it is until you get to the spoiler section, and then we'll talk about the outfit, but specifically, but the groom. This is my favorite. That is my favorite Elsa outfit by far. Elsa has elevated. You know how in the first movie Elsa elevates herself. She's like very like queenly. I'm in my conceal don't feel gloves and my little queen outfit, like coronation day. She moves from that to like let it go and sparkly like her when she's like walking through the ice. Like we got her elevated in that movie, and I was like, we already thought like that's it. Like Elsa is so fabulous with a sparkly dress. Elsa amps it up even more. I'm telling you, by the end of the movie, she's just like this glowing angel figure, basically. Like, really, Elsa? Are you even human? I don't know. Okay, I'll say something about the musical numbers. They have been playing Into the Unknown. They played the full like Panic at the Disco version. They've played clips of it like as already, that's already out there. My theory, like with little kids, because I know Let It Go was a phenomenon, like I can't even describe. I have a story about like the song, the power that song has over people. I was one time singing this song. I was dressed as Elsa. There was a little girl who, it was for her birthday, and she was also celebrating that she got to stop chemotherapy. She also had Down syndrome, and she was, I think, turning 5. And the challenges that she had made her not able to interact with other people very well. She just couldn't do it. The parents told me, just know she likes that you're there. She enjoys knowing that you're there, but she's not going to interact with you. Just she might come across as cold. Just know she enjoys it. And I was like, okay, thank you for the heads up. And they were right, and I got there, and she was just kind of doing her own thing. And a lot of the kids were, because a lot of the kids that she had at the party, like she knew from like the hospital and places, so they were struggling with similar difficulties. Then some of the kids were around, but as soon as we started playing the music to Let It Go and started singing Let It Go, it was like this miracle moment. I started singing it. The little girl ran over to me, grabbed both of my hands, was singing every word, dancing, doing all the motions, singing all along, and all the other little kids, all of them came over and started doing the same thing. Like the parents were bawling because they'd never seen their kids able to do that before. And I'm just trying to like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Like trying to keep it together, you gotta keep singing, like you gotta keep just going. I was just like, what is happening? And they were loving it. They were going like, I just, for the duration of the song, as soon as the song was done, they all went back and just did their things. But for the duration of that song, they were there, like just like any other little kid, and they're mesmerized by it, and it has this weird power over children. Like the some Pluto like power with music, but that song just like really taps into, I don't know what it is. And like the song, I feel like musically, Into the Unknown, I prefer singing Into the Unknown, but I don't think, my theory is I don't think it's gonna have the same impact with little kids. I think Into the Unknown is too complicated for little kids to latch on to it in the same way. I feel like the whole movie is more complicated in a lot of ways. It's not in a bad way. I think it's more, adults will like it more. Not that they didn't like the first one, but I think adults will like it more. I think it's more of like, it allows you to explore things not so much at just a surface level. The original, I feel like it was a story, the big part of the story anybody can understand. But the characters are older, they've been through more now, they've experienced like life a little bit more. The songs reflect that, the story reflects that. It is literally like a progression, and it's not as simple. I really enjoyed it. I think people who really liked the first one will like the second one a lot. I know I was sitting next to Lily, and I always want to get a little kid's perspective too. Lily liked it more than the first one. She's also 9. I don't know if I think part of the power of the original Frozen was just like the way it captivated little kids, and especially that Let It Go song. All that said, I love the new songs. I think the animation, a movie across the whole, but especially like this song, Elsa's song. Elsa gets all the good attention. Her songs, it's just everything about them is just so beautifully done. Not just the music, like the animation. The animation of all of it is just so stunning. Like, I know people, you'll see sometimes on Instagram, people like to do the side-by-side comparison. Like Frozen, like the original already, like the technology to make that happen with like all the snowflakes and everything was insane. And like, see how far they've taken it still with Frozen 2? It just blows my mind. I remember there was a scene with trees. There were just trees animated. It was just like a change in the scene. And I remember seeing the trees and just looking at them and thinking, this looks so real. It almost doesn't even look like animation. And it was just trees. And I don't think everyone's seen the teaser trailer too with the waves and stuff. It was just so good. It's a beautiful movie to watch. Like, even if you couldn't hear any of it, you could just watch it and just be like, wow. So I loved it, highly recommend it. I think whether you're a little kid or an adult, I'm not a crier, but like the people around me, like, cry laughing and cried sad. Like, it's that good. It takes you through the whole gamut of emotions. It was really, really good. So we've gotten to the point where we're gonna start talking about spoilers. So, my Elsa powers. Okay, so we've reached spoilers. If you don't wanna see spoilers, make sure you skip to the timestamp on the screen. Somewhere. I don't know where that one is. Okay, so now we can talk all the spoilers. One of the things that I enjoy most, I want to hear from you guys if you thought this was like super cute too. The whole thing they did with Kristoff, the whole movie, trying to propose to Anna, and it just never, like, he keeps getting, it was really, really, really cute. And how they like tie it in with everything. I love that they carry it through. It's so cute. And because it ties in with the first one too, how she was like, it's like the total opposite of what happened. She meets someone this first night, he's immediately like, just in the introduction and this introductory song, will you marry me? And it's like, yes! And instead, like, Kristoff just wants it to be so right, and he just keeps like, every time it's like not the right moment or something would come up. It was really cute. I thought that was adorable. And it just shows how like evolved they are from the first one, and that is not the typical, I guess I know a lot of Disney princesses, they get flack in the movie for you marry someone you just met type of thing, and they were like poking fun at themselves. Which, by the way, the poking fun at themselves was real. Like, that was what, to me, one of the funniest parts about the whole movie. It was like so self-aware. The humor in it was just hilarious. You know, the part where, so basically the idea that water has memories that Olaf keeps talking about, and Elsa sees like the memory of herself, like having her little like, here I stand, and like having her little moment. You know, it's like a gif. It's like the iconic, like Elsa's like walking like this, she sees it and she's like, oh, like I don't want to see that, like thank you. It's like the awkward when you see yourself, like if you were like walking like this, especially as awkwardly as I'm doing it, you'd be like, oh my goodness, I don't want to see this. This is so embarrassing. And just her seeing it and being embarrassed of like this iconic moment, it was so funny. And the Kristoff song was so funny. I feel like some people are probably going to hate it. Like, I really do. I think people, it's gonna be like a love it or hate it thing. It was just so self-aware and like the cheesy, like, what would it be, like 90s music video style? Very like fever dream, like 6 Kristoffs, like all like him in the background and the like, here he is. It was so funny. And it was just making so much fun of itself. I do feel like some people being like, oh, it kind of like takes away from the movie. It doesn't fit. I thought it was hysterical. I mean, we were like crying, laughing. And especially because we were sitting there with Tracy, who's like the queen of Disney cover music videos. And it was like a music video within a movie. I want to hear your thoughts on like all of it, but the music video in particular, please tell me what you thought of that, because I'm curious to see if it really is very polarizing or if everybody is just gonna think that it's as hilarious as I did, because I feel like some people probably won't like it, but I thought it was like the funniest thing ever. I didn't like the beginning as much as the rest of it. Not that it was bad. I just felt like Anna's first song with Olaf, it almost felt like a song that you'd feel like in one of their, like the shorts. It was really cute, but it reminded me very much like Frozen Fever-ish. I mean, I think it was still done well. I just think the movie just continues to get better as it goes on. But it did move really fast. Like, it's like if you weren't paying attention, all of a sudden you're gonna blink and you're like, wait, what happened? We're where now? I love the throwbacks with Anna and Elsa's parents. We get to see more about them because we didn't learn a lot about them. But I think one of the biggest criticisms that the movie had before was this idea that Anna and Elsa's parents were bad parents, were locking Elsa in this room and telling her to conceal, don't feel, instead of allowing her to be herself. That was like a big criticism that it got. And the fact that we're now able to see where their parents were going. They were trying to find answers. And we also have debunked the myth that Ariel's ship is her parents' ship. It was not Ariel's ship. And it was also debunked the myth that Anna and Elsa's parents were on the way to Rapunzel's wedding when their ship went down, because that was not the case, as we found out. They're going to find out answers about Elsa. I think that was really important because it tied a lot of loose ends that we didn't really have neatly tied up from the first one, because there were so many questions. People are wondering, are the parents even really dead? Are they Tarzan's parents? Little Bruni, but basically the little fire demon little salamander, so cute. I love that Elsa gets her own Pascal. I really want a short where Pascal and Bruni meet, because we already know that Anna and Elsa know Rapunzel. We do now know that if they're actually Rapunzel's cousin, it's probably not from the mom's side, since we find out more about the mom's heritage. That horse, like, is the craziest thing to me. Elsa basically now has a magical water horse. Like, what? I don't even know how to describe her anymore. She's like not a superhero. She's almost like this mythical creature who's like this like water ice goddess who has a magical water horse that she meets like in the ocean. It's just crazy. The epic scene with Elsa fighting the ocean was obviously super cool. I loved that this idea that Anna and Elsa's mother was from this other place. She was a Northuldra person, and they found that out through the scarf that Elsa always wore when she was feeling sad or scared, that she would wear their mother's scarf, and that the Northuldra people recognized it, and that the pattern in it was like the same pattern that represents the different elements, so like the fire and the water and the wind and the earth, all the different elements and the spirits, and that the fire spirit, little Bruni, oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. He's really, really cute. And that he's like kind of Elsa's pet almost. That's adorable. And that they named the wind spirit Gale. That is the funniest. I don't know, I just like the pun. The scene, Elsa's second song was one of my favorite parts of the movie. When she gets that dress, the white dress with like the rainbow-ish like diamond pattern thingy on it. I'm obsessed with that dress. That's my favorite thing I think any Disney character has ever worn. And it was really beautiful. And then, oh my goodness, the ending. There's still like a family, but the Elsa like is like this majestic ice and water goddess of the Northuldra area, and then Anna becomes Queen of Arendelle. I loved it. I love that she became queen because she was just so often portrayed as the goofy sidekick who couldn't rule. Like, she was always there to help, but that now she's the leader. And it's so interesting how that's like how the first movie really starts is with Elsa's coronation, and then the second movie ends basically with Anna's coronation. And it's just so poetic, and like, I just love it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, so good. And I want to know what you guys thought of it. What was your favorite part? What was my favorite part? My favorite part probably had to be watching Elsa and her majestic water horse in this dress with her flowing hair, like coming down and stopping the tidal wave with her magical ice wall. It was just, I love the dress. Like, as if you've probably gathered anything, I just really, really, really love Elsa's new dress. I love that Anna's the queen. I think that's like the greatest thing ever. And I love Bruni, the salamander. This is like, in my opinion, not one of those movies you can watch one time, because I know the next time I watch it, I'm gonna realize so many more things, catch so many more things. I just was like, wow, people are gonna be really blown away by what they did with it. It was good, in my opinion. But I wanna hear what you guys have to say. Tell me your favorite parts if you've seen it already. Maybe you avoid the comment section too much if you haven't seen it already, because there might be spoilers in the comments. But then after you see it, come discuss with us, because I wanna hear your favorite parts. I wanna hear your least favorite parts. And I know when I'm posting it's the first day out, so we'll just get to keep talking more and more and more and more about it. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. There's been a lot of Frozen content lately. I think with just the excitement around this, there'll probably continue to be a lot more Frozen content, but there'll definitely be a lot more Disney content, because it's one of my favorite things to make videos on. I love sharing it with you guys. So if you want more of that, make sure you subscribe and ring the little bell if you want those to come right to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you didn't enjoy, you should just let it go. What type of Frozen discussion would this be if someone didn't make a let it go pun? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Whoa! I'm waiting till the day. What happened here? Oh, that came off. I broke it again. Brandon's gonna kill me if I break his too. So, I get more hyper than usual. And that's why I'm hyper. Okay, so. That was so unnecessary. I'm just so full of it. What's happening? And I'll have already seen it twice, but that's in the future, and I'm from the past. Let go! Let go! Lego! 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 I don't know what's happening anyway.